Browns' Kenny Pickett predicted to enter training camp as QB1. Cleveland's quarterback battle is about to begin with the start of the 2025 training camp. And to kick things off, Mary Kay Cabot predicts that Kenny Pickett will have the upper hand early in camp.
The quarterback battle. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they put certain things out, and most of the time, it's all smoke and mirrors.
So imagine you're Shannon Sharpe, chilling, talking ball, when bam, the Browns' latest quarterback move hits you like a flying protein shake. And no, this ain't a drill. Word on the street is Shedeur Sanders might be the secret weapon nobody saw coming. Yep, the Browns just flipped the whole script and now everyone's scrambling. Is this genius or madness? Either way, Shedeur's about to make the NFL eat its words with extra hot sauce.
And get it right, because I believe Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in this draft.
Hey, there's somebody who agrees with me. Jerry? That's good. Oh, I hope so.
Listen,
Rick,
Shedeur is an assassin. Okay?
Wow.
This guy is a killer. And I'll tell you one thing, Colorado, Jackson State, they didn't rise to prominence because of Coach Prime.
Shannon Sharpe was mid-sip on his kale protein conspiracy theory smoothie when the news broke. The Browns, yes, those Browns, were apparently sniffing around Shedeur Sanders, and not in a he's a nice kid kind of way. No, in a what if this is our quarterback of the future kind of way. Cue the record scratch and Shannon's eyebrows attempting to make contact with his hairline.
My evaluation was the most accurate quarterback I thought in this draft. When he sets his feet, when he's comfortable in the pocket and he delivers the football, the ball goes where he wants it to go. And, this was a quarterback that was asked to have to win football games for his team. I don't think that can be overstated, is that, you go to a team, it's a really good team, and you become a complementary piece. Yeah, your stats might be a little bit better. Your win-loss record might be a little bit better. But to be asked to win games for your team, to have to go out there and throw the ball every single week for your team to be successful, and that's with, an offensive line that struggled over the last couple of years. I think there's a lot to like about Shedeur Sanders.
Let's be honest, the Cleveland Browns are not exactly known for making decisions that scream, we have a plan. More like, we just spun a wheel, and it landed on chaos. This franchise has gone through more quarterbacks than a Hollywood director goes through marriages, from Johnny Manziel to the Deshaun Watson experience, a lineup so cursed you'd think they unearthed it from a haunted scroll.
Unless you watched the games, you would probably never really be able to understand and comprehend exactly what you're saying. He is the system. It's not like he's a part of the system. He is the system, which is why I laugh at Dylan Gabriel like being in the conversation. Gabriel's in the system. Shedeur is the system here.
So when whispers started swirling that the Browns were eyeing Shedeur Sanders as a potential QB option, that wasn't just a plot twist. That was a Marvel multiverse tear with footballs flying through it. A move so bold, it actually stunned Shannon into silence for a whole 3 seconds, which for him is an eternity and possibly a sign like the Browns have suddenly become visionaries. Let's rewind and look at the absolute dumpster fire that is their QB situation. Deshaun Watson's return was supposed to be the second coming. Instead, it's been more like the second cringing. Injuries, inconsistency, and a suspicious inability to throw a spiral longer than a CVS receipt. Their backups? Basically glorified tackling dummies with nice cleats. This isn't a team looking for a quarterback. This is a team looking for divine intervention. And now they're supposedly eyeing Shedeur? Either they've finally lost their minds, or they just might be accidentally genius. Because here's the thing. Shedeur isn't just Deion's son. He's not just a meme machine or a walking sunglasses endorsement. He's got something dangerous. Actual talent. Real, undeniable, stat padding, game-winning, eye test passing talent. And let's not ignore the charisma. That unbothered, unshaken, iced coffee in a hurricane kind of poise.
Quarterback out of this draft. Watch his response every time he came off the field. And how he got with the offensive linemen. How he got with the running backs. How he got with the receivers. And he just ran the show. He has the demeanor to be an NFL football player. And I'm telling you, you wait and see.
While other college QBs are out here trying to remember what a blitz looks like, Shedeur's out here casually throwing dimes through triple coverage like it's just another Tuesday. He has that aura, that I'm not just built differently, I'm engineered to make you question your entire depth chart energy. And the Browns? Well, for once, they might be sniffing in the right direction. Because in an NFL where backup QBs are pulled from couch cushions and LinkedIn, a guy like Shedeur is more than a shiny toy. He's the reset button the Browns didn't know they needed. Let's get surgical for a moment. And you better believe he's not showing up to ride the bench and collect warm Gatorade. He's showing up to start wars. And now, Cleveland's front office, possibly by accident, stumbled upon the idea of a quarterback who isn't just physically gifted, but also knows how to command a room and weaponize silence like an art form. That kind of self-awareness usually doesn't happen in Ohio unless LeBron is nearby.
Whatever. I want to see them joint practices. I want to see what happens. And I want to see what happens with Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, Shedeur has been doing everything right, and I just want to see if it ever pays dividends, if he ever gets this opportunity to run with the twos, the ones, and see if he can make some plays there. Outside of that quarterback room, now I'm thinking about Dylan Sampson.
But just because the Browns are interested doesn't mean they're ready. This is the same team that once thought Cody Kessler was the future. They draft quarterbacks like people shop on Wish. So if Shedeur ends up in Cleveland, it'll be the football equivalent of fitting a Bugatti engine into a lawnmower and praying it works. That's probably why Shannon looked like he saw a ghost made of spirals. It wasn't just the surprise of the Browns considering a bold move. It was the possibility that this move might actually shut people up. Because if Shedeur lands in Cleveland and does what he's fully capable of, all the hot takes, all the lazy criticisms, all the "he's just a brand" dismissals go up in flames. People forget how fast narratives change when receipts start piling up. Oh, it's not ready. Not for a Gen Z quarterback who doesn't flinch, doesn't pander, and doesn't need a media coach to handle a microphone. We've seen talented QBs come through, but Shedeur walks in like he owns the camera and the scoreboard. That combo, lethal.
Quarterback room, Ojo could make for some awkward moments, but that's not been the case according to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur said the vibe in the QB room is positive. Everybody's cool. Outside the room, people try to pit us against each other, but inside the room, we know we're one. We're all different characters. It's funny going in there seeing Joe every day. It's fun to see him because I like, wow, I really mean Joe Flacco right now, we're on the same team. Then, of course, Kenny. The experience he's been in the league with these two is cool. And to see the process of it. And Deshaun, of course, he's active in there and he's all in the meeting, so it's cool talking to him.
So what happens if the Browns actually draft him? Pure chaos. Delicious, popcorn-worthy chaos. Watson versus Shedeur in training camp? The internet would collapse. Fans would riot. Talk shows would implode. It would be the most Cleveland thing ever. And also, maybe, just maybe, the best thing they've done in years. Because here's the twist. Shedeur doesn't beg for QB1. He becomes QB1. With each throw, each press conference, each moment of refusing to blink when grown men shout dumb questions at him, he builds his case, quietly, efficiently, like a hitman with an Instagram account. If he walks into Browns camp and starts zipping lasers through Myles Garrett's shadow while Watson throws wobblers into the turf, good luck keeping that genie in the bottle. You can't sell fans on the future when the future is already throwing touchdowns at practice. And for those who doubt he can handle the NFL, consider this. Shedeur's already dealt with louder criticism than half the league's veterans. Every game at Colorado was a national referendum. Every missed throw was a think piece. Every win was met with, but can he do it in the NFL? Well, he might just get that chance.
This is not going to hurt him in any way, and his fame helps him here. If this was any run-of-the-mill fifth-round quarterback who was a lot more anonymous, then kiss it goodbye after two speeding tickets like this. Shedeur does not hurt him at all.
Nobody drafts a quarterback in the fifth round and cuts him in camp. That's not normal because usually teams don't have four quarterbacks on their roster. If you and I could be dead wrong about this. You show me a fifth round quarterback who got cut in training camp, I would be surprised.
Okay, but how about maybe not cut, but banished? Like put even further to the back of the line.
He's already banished.
But he's not.
Way at the back.
The Browns giving him that chance would be wild. Giving him the keys, that would be revolutionary. Suddenly, a franchise that spent decades tripping over itself might find balance in the unlikeliest of places. A 22-year-old with Deion's fire and his own icy precision. And make no mistake, Shannon Sharpe being stunned isn't just about Shatter. It's about what this move represents. The Browns are flirting with relevance in a way that doesn't involve scandal, failure, or inexplicable punting decisions. It represents a shift, a realization, that maybe the future isn't in retreads and tired strategies. Maybe it's in giving the new school a chance. Not just the kids who play like Madden pros, but the ones who think like CEOs and still throw lasers under pressure. Shedeur Sanders isn't the Browns' safe pick. He's not the scouts' favorite in a spreadsheet. He's the kind of pick you make when you're tired of mediocrity and want to start scaring people. He's what happens when you stop chasing the past and start investing in swagger. And then came Shannon Sharpe's face, the exact moment his jaw nearly hit the desk live on air. You could practically see the Windows 95 error message pop up in his brain. Browns. Shedeur. Wait, what? Shannon wasn't just surprised. He looked like someone just told him Skip Bayless was applying for an HBCU scholarship.
Here we got it, man. Shedeur Sanders has made his way to minicamp, and for some reason, I keep hearing that he's quarterback number 4. Y'all better get it together, dog, because just look at this connection, dog, and look how smooth it is, dog. Check that out, man. It's a star quarterback right there in my eyes. And I mean, there's no hate against Dylan Gabriel. I mean, just look at this. They threw it to the same wide receiver, and guess who looks better? Shedeur Sanders. Not gonna lie to you, it's no glaze, none of that. I'm just keeping it real with you, dog. They can't have these two quarterbacks going in with two veteran quarterbacks there, dog. One gonna have to go, and it ain't gonna be Shedeur. Straight up. But I see you, Dylan. But it ain't better than Shedeur rep. I ain't gonna lie to you. But here we got it. Another rep of Shedeur Sanders. Apparently QB4 is getting all the media attention and all.
This wasn't your average quarterback rumor. This one hit different. Why? Because it threw the sports universe into one of Shannon's favorite things, controlled chaos. But here's the twist. Once the shock wore off and he leaned back in that high-dollar leather chair, Shannon didn't say it was crazy. He said it was possible. And that pause? That moment where even he had to recalibrate the reality of a black college QB with NFL-level drip, discipline, and Deion DNA potentially being in Cleveland? That said everything. Because Shannon knows what a lot of people pretend not to. If Shedeur lives up to even half the hype, he's not just winning games. He's detonating centuries of coded doubt. He's walking into a league that's still side-eyeing confident young black quarterbacks like they snuck in the back door. See, Shedeur is the type of player who dares you to judge the book by its cover, then rips out the last chapter and writes it himself. Calm, camera-ready, media-trained by Coach Prime himself, and backed by game tape that's part poetry, part pistol. He doesn't play nervous.
It's about damn time. Shedeur Sanders has officially been named the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns after the conclusion of minicamp. And let me show you guys the stats of the 4 quarterbacks from the Browns during minicamp. Because obviously this job was not easy to get due to the fact that he was going against 3 legit quarterbacks to get this starting job. Kenny Pickett, who they just signed, Joe Flacco, the Hall of Famer, and then the guy that they selected in the draft before him in Dylan Gabriel. But Shedeur Sanders went off in minicamp, and let me show you guys the stats, which is the reason why he is being named the starter. Because these are the...
He doesn't play cute. He plays like he's already famous because, spoiler alert, he is. And the NFL? Oh, they've never been fully ready for this kind of package. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The league has always known how to handle loud, white quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield dancing after throwing 3 picks? He's passionate. Zach Wilson throwing screen passes into the upper deck? He just needs time. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts? Bless his heart, he's learning. But when a black QB talks his talk, backs it up, and knows he's marketable, suddenly it's, is he too flashy? Too confident? Can he lead a locker room? And that's why the Shedeur conversation hits a nerve. Because he's not asking permission. He's not waiting his turn. He's rolling out in custom Louis Vuitton cleats and a whole film crew, and still dropping 400 yards like it's cardio. He's not begging for respect. He's branding himself into the conversation. You can't say he came out of nowhere when he's been all over your timeline for the last 2 years. And here's what makes him dangerous in the best way possible. Shedeur knows the game behind the game. He's not just building a resume, he's building an empire. While other rookies are asking what cleats to wear, he's trademarking slogans and filming docu-series.
Everybody did pretty good, okay? My boy Flacco, he had the less reps, which I kind of felt like he should, you know, being the fact that he is an experienced player. He knows the system already. And this is the opportunity to get to see the other quarterbacks and what they could possibly do leading up into the preseason. That's just how I felt. But when you look at the stats, Flacco was 4 for 7 with no touchdowns and no interceptions. My boy Shedeur Sanders, he was 9 for 14 with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Pickett, he was 9 for 15 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And my boy Dylan Gabriel, he looked pretty good too. He was 11 for 20 with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Now looking at these numbers and seeing that Shedeur Sanders was the only one that threw an interception.
While other QBs are going viral for bad throws, Shedeur's going viral for touchdown aesthetics. The fadeaway footwork, the clean drop, the icy stare down after 6 points. He doesn't just want to win, he wants to own the moment. So now imagine this. The Browns actually draft him. Cue the tornado sirens. It's Watson versus Sanders in camp, one with a $230 million contract and more controversy than highlights. The other, fresh out of college, with Coach Prime watching from a suite and Instagram Live boiling over. The QB room becomes a reality show. The fans split straight down the middle. One side chanting, "Let the vet cook." The other side rocking primetime hoodies and saying, "It's Shedeur's time." Now let's say, just imagine, Shedeur actually wins the job, week 1 starter, and then throws 3 touchdowns, no picks, and walks off the field like it was just another Saturday in Boulder. What happens next? He's not just the Browns quarterback, he's a cultural moment. He becomes the blueprint for the new NFL quarterback. Confident, polished, unapologetically black, and backed by a generation that's watching him do what most weren't allowed to do: lead loudly.
I think Joe Flacco, he's going to start the year off, and I agree with Nick. I think at some point it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. Listen, Joe Flacco got drafted with me in 2008. We were at the Combine together, y'all. So I don't think he's going to play the entire season for the Cleveland Browns. Now, what you don't want to do if you're the Cleveland Browns as an organization is have a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders go out there and ball out in practice and preseason and do everything necessary from his standpoint to where he should be playing. And if you're Cleveland, you don't play him, because now you're going to have division in your locker room. Play the best player, and for a player like Shedeur Sanders, control what you can control. That's why it's so important to have a strong father figure in his life like he does have.
Even if he doesn't start right away, heck, even if he struggles, it's still historic. Because Shedeur being in that room forces the league to evolve, forces fans to reconsider the criteria for leadership, forces scouts to question why they're more comfortable with quarterbacks who look like backups from 2006. At the end of the day, this isn't just about football. It's about power, identity, who gets to carry the ball and the brand. Shedeur's presence, his confidence, his refusal to be anything but himself, that is what shakes the table. And as Shannon Sharpe knows all too well, sometimes the most shocking move ends up being the smartest one. Because shutting everyone up, that's not just a comeback story. And a front office willing to accept that maybe the answer isn't tucked away in an aging veteran or a fourth-round clipboard holder. Maybe the answer is a young gun who walks like he's already won. If the Browns actually go through with this, Shannon won't be the only one stunned. The whole league might need therapy. And Shedeur, he'll just smile, throw another touchdown, and let the silence speak for itself. Because when it comes to shutting people up, nobody does it quite like a Sanders.